It's okay. What? Sorry. All right, we are live streaming right now. Come on, gather around. All right.
At 3:05 in the morning.
All right, 3:05 in the morning. We got that live on the air. Okay, so this is our first sort of open house for the Willow Creek Springs reps, and we're doing a live stream right now so that anybody who wasn't able to make it can make it. This is a very informal, laid back.
Look at these
sort of
cute faces. Yay!
Yep. Meet the family here, folks. To the Willow Creek Springs team.
We're all cool people. Down to earth.
So what we're going to
Not
do
full of
here
ourselves.
is have a little bit of an open house question and answer. We've got a few people that are going to do some announcements. Bo's here with the chocolate dragon, so we get to hear about
He's
the
over
chocolate
there.
dragon. And I'm going to be here to answer any questions. And if you don't have questions, I'll talk about stuff that you don't know, and maybe you'll get some questions. But so we have grown as a company in the last 6 months, probably 10 times in all directions. And so some of you guys who are not here are probably because you're in other states and even in other countries. And that's the beauty of what's going on. But for everybody to realize that this is a little family-owned business, and we literally make all this stuff with our hands and here at this place right now. And so we got a good little team of crazy people and Oompa Loompas, and we've got a cool little team of tunes, and I'm proud to be the head tune. So that being said, we have grown in a lot of ways. We've grown in representatives. We've grown by creating marketing materials, banners, postcards, or wrap cards, brochures, and we've also grown by introducing a lot of new products. And for everybody to understand that,
Dark. Can't see.
I've had this in the works for years to bring out all these products. My goal is to bring out everything that we can before the end of the year and give it a little bit of a test run, get feedback, and then discontinue the things that aren't wildly popular. They'll always be available by batch orders, and that's important. If a group of reps, we have almost 90 reps now in the whole team. And what that means is that if we discontinue something, it just means that you have to buy a batch of 30, 50, 100 units. And you can get together and, when we do an open house or a conference call or whatnot, say, hey, somebody might say, hey, I want to get in on an order of lotion. And, we need to buy a total of 30 or 50 bottles. Who's in? And, you pull your resources and order a batch. That's all that it means if we discontinue an item. It just means we're not going to keep it on the shelf. We have over, I don't know how many SKUs we have now, but we're coming up on 100 SKUs. And when we're done, we'll probably have 30 to 40 that will be on the shelf all the time. And the rest will be available by special order. And obviously, if that changes, we'll change to match it. There are a lot of people that ask for things that we don't have all the time, every day. Whatever it is we have, somebody says, hey, do you have that? Do you have that other thing? It's pretty likely that if it's a decent idea of a product, if we haven't made it, we'll probably give it a try. But remember, you guys are the reps. We don't do any retail sales anymore at all. So if you like a product and you want us to make it and keep making it, it's important.
Did you still want this to
Yeah,
go on
we're talking.
or until
We're talking.
they tell their stories? Or
No, this is
okay.
This is a live
Sorry.
stream of this thing.
Okay.
It is just whatever it is. But when we do the testimonials, I'll turn it off and we'll restart it. It'll be something that'll be separate. There isn't a keep going. Just set the thing down. It's okay. Just set it down.
Well, they can't.
It's not a. It's just a live stream.
Okay.
It's not on a schedule. All right. So I'm trying to just give some ideas of things that you probably don't know, and then we'll open up to questions. And if you don't have questions, I'll give you some more stuff you don't
I
know.
thought they were for free.
So the new products are rolling out pretty dramatically right now. There's probably 8 or 10 different things that we haven't even put labels on yet. And so the newsletters are really important. If you don't get the newsletter, if you stop getting the newsletter, I'll send you the link. I think you guys got taken off for lack of activity. You got, if anybody doesn't open 2 newsletters, it's automatic. You'll get removed. I can't stop it. I can't keep it from happening. It just will happen. So I want you guys to have these newsletters. There's a lot of information, but there's also an archive link that says you can go back and see everything that was ever done. So it's nobody's ever getting anything held from you, but I just need this list to be accurate and active for my personal needs. It's a lot of work to make them, so I just need to know who's following along. All right, anybody have questions to get started about anything that has to do with this company?
Actually, I love the fact that even if you're not keeping it on the shelf, that we all have the opportunity to come together to create the same product again, to bring it back. We would go anywhere else, not involving this type of product, or it would be the end of it, period, and we'd all be, woo-hoo. But the fact that he's come up with this idea, allowing us to come together a little tighter to work on something, to bring it back, and find that need. I think that's a wonderful job. Thank you for doing that you just admit something that we can bring it back.
Well, you're welcome. I think you guys got to understand, part of why we're doing this is for you guys to understand this company and the people involved. I'm not ever going to be Walmart. I don't want to be Walmart. I'm not ever going to be Sears and Roebuck or JCPenney's and Sephora or any other large company that operates in the way a large company operates. We do this to make a living and to make the world better. And that's really what it boils down to. So everything that we're doing right now with the model of this company, we're creating as we're going, obviously. There's not a roadmap to build this kind of company. But I have a vision of what this company looks like 6 months down the road, a year down the road, and 5 years down the road. And it's a family, and it's people, it's an A-team. It's the people that really get this and are out there educating people and helping to heal people. Hopefully the testimonials will start flowing, but we've got some miraculous stories, from cancers being shrunk to people getting off of psych meds to chronic pain that opiates weren't touching getting healed. I mean, it's blows my mind that the FDA says we can't talk about the healing values of these products, and yet the healing values of these products are the core of what this is all about. So it's important that we're all on the same page with our knowledge base, understanding the products. Hopefully you guys can share some things that are working with getting out there, talking to the public. This is my public. I don't talk to the day-to-day retail people anymore. So I'm relying on these conversations to tell me what people are doing, learning, are asking, things that we may or may not be providing. We've increased some of our products based on existing products that are out there that we didn't have. And in some cases, we modified a product so that it had a better delivery system. We're not stuck on whatever we did 10 years ago is the only way to do it. We're stuck on being the best and making things the best. So if we learn something new, or an ingredient, a technique, a delivery system comes out, we'll give it a shot. I mean, that's what this is all about, is just being about being the best. So thank you, Wanda, and I hope that was helpful. Another question. Thought, an idea. You got a nice smile. Smiles are good. Here we go. Let's catch the smile there. All right. No questions about anything. There's been so much information that's been coming down the line.
What are the nano products?
Nano products, absolutely. That's a great question. That's a great question. All right, so there's going to be some crossover. This is all a Willow Creek Springs thing, but a lot of the people here are dealing with the CPR products as well. So for anybody who doesn't know, CPR is a California company that deals with California patients, still protected by our law. It looks like we passed a bill that is going to keep our protection a little bit. But bottom line is we have Willow Creek Springs that does all of our hemp and CBD products, and CPR that does our other infused products. When we talk about nano, the idea of nano, you're not in the picture. The idea of nano is it's in reference to the particle size. So if you were to take, you ever go to Disneyland and go to that inner space or ride they used to have, and it shrinks you down until you're like the size of a cell. Well, if you are in that world and you're the size of a cell, things would look very different. And things like membranes and barriers and ways that small things can come and go would become very important. We don't see them, so we don't know. But when you get really small, there are barriers that your body has, your blood vessels, your cell walls. There's all these different things that keep things separate. You got different fluids in your body. How do they keep from spilling into each other and becoming soup? Well, it's all these different barriers and membranes. Most of these membranes are semi-permeable, meaning that things can pass through them if they're the right chemistry, the right pH, the right viscosity, the right particle size, and they can actually go through these barriers. What that means is CBD is an oil-based molecule. If you've ever made Italian dressing and you put oil and vinegar together and you shake it up and it's delicious and you let it sit and they separate. And you gotta keep shaking it before you use it. Well, the same thing happens with oil and water of any kind. And so oil-based molecules don't easily get passed through water. So if you put it on your skin, it'll penetrate some depending on your product. But you pretty much have to eat it. That's the only way you can break that barrier. But with nanotechnology, and they're using it in health products like CoQ10, vitamin C, vitamin E, they call it liposome. And what that means is you got an oil side and a water side of the same molecule. What it means is if it gets small enough, which nanoparticles are, it can literally pass through those cell membranes and it can be absorbed by your body much, much easier. So as we're developing new products, we're using nanotechnology, CBD and THC oils. And what that means is that because of their particle size, they will penetrate through your skin layers and be much more active. The way that they, I have identified it thus far, is it's 6 times bioavailable. So for every milligram that you take of nano, it acts like 6. And that's being quantified right now and it's being studied, but that's the general consensus amongst people in the industry. So that's what nano is all about. And it's, think of it like a supercharger. It makes it work better. It's just whatever, it makes it work better. So when something is nano, a lot of times it might be more expensive, but it also means that it's worth more. And if you look at any of the real high-end anti-aging products, they're using nanoparticles. They're using it in the pharmaceutical industry for delivery of very potent medicines. And they're using even little nanorobots to go send it to specific areas. So nanotechnology is being used in the cutting edge of science and the healthcare and the cosmetic industry, and we are using it too. Cool.
So yes, but back to Vinny's question, what are the new products?
Oh, the new products. So the nano products we have currently are the nano massage lotion. So here, somebody grab me a nano massage lotion. Break out all the nano products. I'll show them to you. Let's start with the first one. We'll go
I
on
can
from there.
attest as a rock climber that the nano lotion 100% cuts recovery time almost in half. If
All
not
right.
better.
So this is the nano massage lotion, and it comes in. Yeah, keep going. There's all the nano stuff. We'll get to So basically, this was designed to be a high glide, versatile massage lotion, and I have the ability to change this formula a lot, meaning I can make it even more glide. It would be more oily by doing it, but we could do that. It's got a tangerine, sandalwood scent to it with the essential oils. It could be, we do it in neutral, and we also do it, we could do it in a number of different fragrances. But again, anytime somebody gets into custom work, it's batch sizes that become important. You got to buy at least a batch, and we'll play with this. We have a lot of white label clients now. This is one of the most popular white label products. We have some massage therapists, and we have some people that have shops, and one client in particular that has their own brand of our products, and they go through a lot of these. So the feedback's been really good. For a new product, it's moving very quickly. So that's the Nano Massage Lotion. It comes in a 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and 4 ounce size. Yeah. Candace, why don't you get a small one? We'll do for example. I'll pass it around. All right. So the next one is our Nano CBD Lip Quench. So we've had our Lip Quench for this, developed this product, one of the earliest products back almost 20 years ago. And we have 3 flavors of Lip Quench. But when the CBD started getting really popular, people started learning about it and how well it works. We got a request for this. So we added, it's basically the same formula. We just added some Nano CBD to it. I think there's a little more coconut to it. We modified it just a little bit. So that's the Nano CBD Lip Quench. And it's got, I would say the value of it is it's got more healing power if you got chapped lips. I don't use the lip stuff much, but we'll get some testimonials.
Every day.
Excellent.
Does it have a natural SPF list?
This one, no, this one does not. We're going to be expanding the lip line, and we need the sunblock too. That's got Nano CBD, and the aftercare, the after sun spray. So anyways, there's going to be more lip products coming. We're going to be doing an intensive lip therapy serum, and we'll be doing a sunblock lip balm too. So these two are eye serums. This is a Nano CBD and a Nano THC eye serum. So these eye serums are an anti-aging. This has got stuff in it that royalty would use. That's not a joke. This is the kind of stuff. The ingredients in this are as good or better than any other product that's like it out there. And it deals both with repairing the damage from the sun. Your eyes get all around here from smiling, frowning, wrinkling your face, squinting. You get lines here. You get lines above your eyes on all sides. And then the other thing is your eyes get puffy, and you hold moisture there. And so, especially if you're not sleeping good, they can get dark. I mean, your eyes can really, you look at girls in makeup and they put more makeup on their eyes than anything else. And, but when you take all that makeup off, that's when you see the reality of what goes on with your eyes. This stuff can make that reality really nice. Really nice. But it's real. It's real.
You're so kind about that.
I'm just honest. I'm just honest. All right. So this right here, this is a brand new product. It's on special order right now. We don't even have a label for it yet. But this is a Nano CBD sunscreen lotion. And I put this to the test. About 3 weeks ago, we went to the beach, and I made 2 versions of it, and I put it from my waistline up to my chest, on one side and then the same on the other side. And that was it. And I sat out in the sun and I fried for about 3-4 hours. And I was burnt to a crisp from here up. My shoulders were fried and my belly was the teeniest bit pink. But the next day, no pain, no nothing. It totally worked. So I took the first round and I said, if it worked on this lily white skin, it'll work on yours. So I can personally stand by this one, even though it's a brand new product. The second product that we made was an after sun spray treatment. And this has nano CBD in it. It also has aloe vera. It has witch hazel. It has chamomile essential oils. It has all kinds of good ingredients specifically for healing a sunburn that's burnt.
To cool it down.
To cool it down, to reduce inflammation, to reduce the pain. Obviously, I put that to the test. And I got out of the shower that night, and I was like, you know how you get sunburned and it hurts. You don't want to move. And I just sprayed it all around, and I slept like a baby. I wasn't, I've had sunburns before where I couldn't move. You're just moving, you're like, everything just, and I was able to sleep just fine. I woke up the next morning. I had peeling, but once, and it wasn't a multi-level peel. It would have been. And I put it to the test. My goal was to not peel, but I did peel, but it would have been a million times worse. I've done this before. So that also does not have a label yet, but it's available labelless, and it'll be available to the public soon. All right. Yeah, so the next one, this is nano water concentrate. And this we're calling NC squared. And what it is for people that make CBD water, this is what they use to put in water. You can make it into a smoothie, put it in your coffee, and it breaches that line by making it nano, using the technology that we're using for this, which is ultrasonic. It allows for this to be a water-soluble product. So, yeah.
Does nano improve the flavor?
Water or? I don't know. I never. There's very little flavor with the nano because you don't put so much in it, and it's more available. So how
many would you just like do a little dropper? Or
yeah, I would probably put one dropper in a drink.
I do like 4.
But you can do whatever. I mean,
I don't want to be a bad influence, but I take a 4 shots of nano water concentrate last night for a
So is it dropper? Is it
So anyways, that being said, one of the things that we'll talk about is dosage, and CBD is going all over the scale right now with what people think they want, and what the science says is low and slow is the best way to go. But what people want to do is push it to the limit and see, if 20 did good, I should take 200. And there's nothing wrong with that. The good news is it's cannabis medicine, and it can't hurt you. A lot of people, I make 1,000 milligram dropper bottles now because people wanted them. I made 50 milligram capsules because people wanted them. Not that I really think most people need that dose. People will, there's 2 things going on here. One is efficacy, and 2 is marketing. There's what people want is what we're going to provide, whether it's the best thing or not. What I'm going to make is the best thing. And if you want to ask me what the best thing is, I'll tell you what I think. But whatever you want, we'll make it. If you buy it, we'll make it. We're a business on top of it all. So I'm not going to make something that will cause you harm, but I'll make something that, in my opinion, might be wasteful. But if you're willing to buy it, I'm willing to make it.
Yeah.
All right.
Does that work well in sugary drinks?
Any drink.
Okay.
From water to anything else.
Okay.
Anything. Yeah.
Soda.
Anything. Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
I'm doing my Bible.
Anything. All right, the next one.
Doesn't settle at the bottom. Stays suspended evenly.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't have to shake it up. So this is the next newest thing, and we just got our label. So this is officially now available. This is our high performance nano THC cooling roll on, and this has both full molecule size and nano CBD in it, and all of our cooling agents that it always had. Now it's in a roller bottle, so the problem, we'll probably be phasing out the spray bottles because people don't get it, number one, and number two, the people that do get it feel that it puts too much on, gets in their clothes and whatnot. This will keep it to a very isolated area, and it just puts it right where it needs to, and so it's very effective with it. So these are $10 to you as a rep in a 10 ml bottle, and it's because of the nanotechnology and the other, that it's a little more pricey than some of the other stuff. But feedback has been, yeah, the applicator, all of this is more expensive for us. And number two, it's got nano that is really nano. And so, all right, now this is the next nano product, and this is a cream that's for psoriasis and eczema. Now remember that these are not FDA approved products, so we cannot go around posting that, but it's true, so we can talk about it. And Dana here came up with the name, and she actually had a situation where in a hospital, she had an opportunity to have this applied under doctor's orders. So we didn't get a prescription for it, but we got a recommendation, and so this has actually been tested with medical oversight.
And the nurses are loving it.
And we've had already, and I've got some photographs that have already come back in, but we had a child that used it successfully. We've had some really severe psoriasis and eczema can be really dramatic and really painful and itchy and ugly and swollen and nasty McNasties. I mean, this stuff can be really bad, and the stuff that we've seen is within a few days that this has really reduced it. And so we've gone from beta test, we made one formula modification, we did 2 batches of the second beta test. The feedback was overwhelming, so we brought it to market. So Dana came up with the name though, and so we'll call it Exoria.
Exoria.
Exoria, yeah.
I like that.
So I'll pass this around, you guys can see it, but it has nano CBD.
But you know,
Now,
the way we're doing it EX, because you're going to knock out the
Right.
eczema and you're going to knock out the psoriasis.
there we
I
go.
like that because when I hear that, I know right away that's
But it doesn't say anything about what it will do on the package,
Right.
so that I don't have FDA kicking in my door.
Yeah.
So the next part about it though, for eczema and psoriasis, there's a capsule that goes with it. So be mindful that eczema and psoriasis, they're not an allergy. They're not a histamine reaction. This is an autoimmune issue that is triggered internally. And so it does have an outward symptom that this does help make go down, but the capsules have a lot of the same ingredients in them. So you're getting those herbs going from inside your body as well as topically. And so here is the capsules here. And I mean, the ingredients are amazing, and that's got a couple of oils in it that are very unique to this treatment. And they're not necessarily even easy to get, but they're very good for it. So anyways, that's the newest, latest nanoist stuff. So most of the new creams that we come out with are going to include nano CBD and or THC. In addition to the full-size molecule. The only downside to nano is it doesn't test the same as the regular molecules because of the particle size. When you have a microscope or an HPLC machine that is designed to see things, it looks for them in a very specific way. And it's like if you have a telescope and you point it at the moon, by the time you got that moon focused in, you don't see anything else around it but the moon. And if you're targeting the Milky Way, you got to zoom it in a certain way that you can see the Milky Way. If you look outside right now, I can say, go find me Orion's belt. You'll go, I don't see it. It's there, just like it is at night, but you don't see it because the sun's up. And it's the same thing with this. So the nanoparticles, I'm working with the PhD that actually makes these particle sizes. And he has, through a company in New York, developed a way to test for potency, but it's not dialed in yet. But we do test for the nanoparticle size. Generally speaking, these nanoparticles are 30 nanometers, which is very small. Most particles that are nanoparticles are 1,000 nanometers or less. Most of them, even if you hit 998 nanometer particle size, you have a nano product. These are 30 nanometers. Very, 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 very small. So they're very effective as a result. All right, so that's our show and tell with the with new nano. Exactly. Any other questions?
Yeah, but I do have a comment.
Okay.
I'd like to bring up. I noticed and experienced my son-in-law, who's in the Navy, was injured. And he was on opioids. And he went to a dispensary or whatever in San Diego. And I called Joe and I said, they told Brandon that he needs to start with 500 milligrams of CBD, and because he wanted to get off of opioids. And then Joe was kind enough to really say to me, hey, that's not going to work anyway, and that's way, way too much. You don't start at 500 milligrams. And forgive me for saying this, but I think there are people who, because of the financial, at that point are pushing the higher dosages. So there's a lot of misinformation, because I know I've had people ask me when I've gone to networking events, but why is this only 10, we have a sampler that's 6 10 milligram pieces. And why is it only 10 milligrams? So my answer, because of my mentor over here and teacher, has been, because you don't need to start with more. You can end up eating all 6 of these and have 60 milligrams, but you don't need to start with 500 milligrams. So I think that the financial end is what a lot of misinformation.
Absolutely.
is coming from.
People will capitalize on whatever they can, and you know what? That's the world we live in. But it's important as reps to understand the truth. And, hashtag it works. That's all I have to say is try it. If it works for you, then why do you care what's in it? Right? If you know that it's not bad for you, if you know that every ingredient is a food grade quality ingredient and it alleviates your symptoms or actually helps you heal, why would you care what was in it?
Right.
None of us are doctors or we'd be doctors. Right? If that's what we were, if we went to medical school and went and did that, we would probably not be sitting here. We'd be working on a practice somewhere. Okay, but we're not. But what we do know is that there's a lot of information that's readily available. We share information. These products are developed not just from guessing and throwing things against the wall, but from taking all of the historical work we have to learn from and starting there and coming up with things that make sense, and we try them. If they work, we put them to market. If they don't, we go back to the drawing board and keep trying until they do.
Right.
So I think that's important I get a lot of brand new reps usually that come and say, well, that other guy has that. Good for him. There are lots of good things out there. Do we have everything that's ever been thought of? No. We pick and choose the things that I think are going to be the best. And there's a list of things that we haven't made yet. And it's a pretty good sized list, but ask the girls who are working here, we're cranking them out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Faster than the team really wants. But to me, I'd rather get them out there, beta test them, get people's feedback, and then we go with the ones that are the most valuable. I have people that tell me all the time, well, you have too many products. well, we don't have this product line refined yet. We're in the refining process. So we're doing a lot of beta testing. We're giving away a lot of samples. We're asking for a lot of feedback. And, look, there's very little ego. I'm proud of the work we do, but I'm proud that it works, and I want it to work. I want it to be the best that it can be. And if I'm off course ever, or if any of us are off course, we want to get on course. I mean, that's what the point is, not to cause you to want something that maybe isn't the best. Bo, why don't you talk about the Chocolate Dragon?
Let me first of all introduce myself and give you a little bit of background about me. My name obviously is Bo. My company is the Chocolate Dragon. And we, Joe and I, started really working together a couple of years ago where I wanted to make sure that creating the best product that could be out there. Didn't make a decision that I was going to do this and that it was going to come out tomorrow. Took the time to really make a product that would be good tasting. My background in the chocolate industry is that I actually started because of a fiasco, medical fiasco. I was misdiagnosed as having Addison's disease. And at that point, what happened is I started really creating, I don't know if you remember, but back in the 70s, anything that had no sugar was gross. I think that's the understatement of my lifetime. So I started developing products for myself at home. My background is really that I have a PhD in psychology, which I use every day, right? However, I don't practice anymore. And one of the key things that I wanted to do after they found out that the lab had screwed up my blood work and somebody else's blood work had been like joined together, and that was my misdiagnosis. But at that point, I had already been bitten by really realizing that I loved developing product. So from there, I created my regular line. I owned retail stores. They were called the Chocolate Dragon and the Nutty Chocolatier. One was somewhere in Brentwood and in the Valley, and developed new products, and we had great acclaim, and we have very unusual. Changed about 8 years ago, created a dairy-free line. Our line is totally dairy-free. We're a very allergen-conscious plant. For instance, if you place an order and you want pecans and walnuts, we'll do it, but we bleach down everything afterwards, not to contaminate anything else that we do. The other thing is that besides being dairy-free, we're also a gluten-free facility. We have a product that I'm going to add into our CBD line, and it's a truffled s'more. We're changing it because what we're going to do, instead of a gluten-free graham that I bring in from Canada, because it's the only one that really tastes good, and that's dairy-free, that is kosher certified, because we're also a kosher certified facility. That is a base that has dark chocolate truffle, a vegan marshmallow. And what makes the marshmallow vegan is there's no gelatin. They're air puffed.
Oh, wow.
So they use air to blow it up. And that is then dipped in our blend.
Any testers?
Well, actually, we have samples of our full spectrum here today.
Nice.
So the other thing that we found that we do very much is I listen to Joe a lot, because doing the sampler, and to let you know, Cushfly, which is a delivery service, is handling the Chocolate Dragon products right now. They're already onto their new order.
Nice.
It's been the idea of a really good tasting vegan, gluten-free product that's also kosher certified opened up a marketplace that they didn't have before for them.
Nice.
So that's
Wow.
something to remember about the product. And when you taste the product, you can be your own judge, about the product. Right now, we're changing every 3 to 6 months. We do a new flavor profile. So I'm in the process right now of working on items for the holidays because this is the time to make it known that it's
Yeah.
out there.
Very true.
We're gonna do a pumpkin truffle. We're gonna do a butternut squash caramel. Yes. And we're gonna do a cranberry truffle. Those are the
Oh,
three that are on the board right now. So they will be, and we're gonna do a mini Santa Claus. So that if somebody knows that someone uses CBD, that they can get the mini Santa Claus and with instructions on how to cut it.
That's right.
And we can't, on our truffles, our 2-pack now and our 5-pack. Our 2-pack either comes in all truffles, or it comes in all caramel, or it comes in a caramel and a truffle. And Joe has all of that. The 5-pack is 2 caramels, 2 different caramels, and I believe right now it's orange pico tea caramel and a chipotle caramel.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's but we went more mellow because I prefer not to have someone go, oh my God, it blew my head off.
Right.
Or that they're coughing and it's, tough for them. But those are made so that they're cuttable. So they're pyramids and you can cut a piece off. So they're 25 milligrams and if someone wants half of it, they can,
Just cut it right
they
down.
can cut it in half. Or if they just want a third of it, they can cut a layer off. So both the round, which is the caramel, and the flat pyramid are in a mold that they can cut.
Nice.
So, unfortunately, with the Santa Claus, you can't score it. There's no way to score it. So we're gonna have to kind of figure out if this whole thing is, 125 milligrams. If you cut this in 12, kind of giving them a little idea of how to cut it
More or
and
less, you'll get the
what they would
ballpark.
have. Yeah, and we're probably gonna do a caramel instead of a truffle because that way. Once it opens up, a caramel, if they refrigerate it and they keep it, for a while, it doesn't spoil. We give them instructions on how to just put it in a Ziploc bag, take the air up, put it in another Ziploc
And it'll
bag.
keep for a week or so.
Keep for longer.
How long would you say?
Refrigerated and non-refrigerated.
Okay, non-refrigerated, honestly, or shelf life because we use no preservatives. I tell clients 60 days.
60,
It's really
that's
nice.
Yeah, the caramel itself is long lasting on the shelf
Yeah,
and hold.
but I'm talking about truffles.
Truffles, okay.
Truffles is 60.
60.
I tell them 60. The shelf life is really 90 to 120, but I'd rather have them order and reorder and have
Very
fresh
good.
product.
Very
Yes.
good.
And not
Yes.
force, a customer to take 500 pounds.
So
You know.
refrigerated.
Refrigerated extends it probably by 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
Now, once you
But if they have not eaten it in even 60 days, you know what, they should.
What the hell's wrong with them?
Yeah, exactly.
It's chocolate, for God's sake.
I already want to eat it
Why
now.
would anybody
I
eat
don't think anybody
chocolate?
would wait that long with a piece of chocolate, no matter how
Shit.
good you are.
Yeah.
No
yeah,
chocolate left.
Especially
in my
more
house.
chocolate.
Chocolate sitting in your
Couple
refrigerator.
of minutes.
Been out for more than a couple of minutes.
You know, I have to share something with you. I did a pop-up, a consumer pop-up this past Saturday in Long Beach. And because it was at the Petroleum Club in Long Beach, I was kind of reticent about, I didn't want to push my luck. So I was very low-key. It was on the product list that we had the 2-piece box, the 5-piece box, and that we had the sampler pack, the mini sampler. And people saw it, and by way of mouth, they were telling each other
Wow.
about it. So it was in the display case, but they were telling people, because they were eating it right away.
Yeah.
And it was very flattering. And I have to be honest with you, the biggest seller that day was really the CBD.
Wow.
And I didn't have that much with me because I didn't know if I could even. Can I answer something?
How many grams of sugar do you have?
The sugar is very low because it's 80% cacao. Okay. But when you make caramel, remember caramel is caramelized sugar. So it depends what you're talking about. And our truffles, with the exception of the salted caramel, which again is caramel, which is salted caramel truffle, that automatically has sugar in it. But our you can taste the raspberry truffle today. In the couverture, the chocolate, obviously there is sugar, but in the center, in the truffle part, the only sugar is the natural sugar from the raspberries, etc. So we tried very hard. I tried incredibly hard to keep sugar down, so that if I had a meeting with a nutritionist, and Dana can probably answer this better than I can, but who said to me, a diabetic who really isn't like a, diabetic that's starting to get neuropathy and all of that, could have like a mini sampler and it would do nothing, it would not harm them. That it's the quantity that they consume. But I've been asked time and time again about creating a sugar-free line. And I'm in the process of doing that. My negative about sugar-free, honestly, is the aftertaste. And I just got a new sweetener that is derived from cassava. So it's tapioca. It's a tapioca sweetener. The stuff is incredibly expensive.
Yep.
It is not 0 calories. It is 0 sugar. The calories are from the tapioca because it's a carbohydrate.
Have you heard of Trelos?
Yes.
Have you tried any of that at all?
The aftertaste is too much. We've tried stevia, so I'm kind of banking now, I'm hoping that this will work. Monk fruit was another one that we worked with, and when we went to the Western Expo, found a monk fruit that sweetener that actually tasted good. It had no aftertaste. And these guys, I don't want to order it before I get a sample and see if it actually is the same product like they had at the show. Because sometimes it's very deceptive because they don't have, when they're sampling, they don't really have labels on the samples they're giving you. So you don't know really what's in it. I get so angry when I see product that says no sugar, okay, stevia, and then you read it and it's got dextrose in it or maltitol or whatever, so they're not being honest. And that's why I want to see this now. I just got in the tapioca sweetener, so I have not done anything with it yet. One of the things that will happen is that we're probably gonna coat it in something other than chocolate. So because sugar-free chocolate generally is gross. It really is horrible because it's generally sweetened with sorbitol and mannitol. And I don't know if you guys have ever,
Oh, definitely, tried it all.
yeah, and so, sorbitol has terrible effect on the digestive system. It's got a terrible effect on taste. It's just gross stuff. I actually working with sorbitol and mannitol. I ended up I went to the ER because I thought I was having a heart attack. I started having pain in my shoulder, and my daughter was working with me then, and she said, "Mom, that's not good. That could be your heart." It was indigestion from the mannitol and sorbitol.
Wow.
But again, to Joe's point, we will white label, but that we have to, if we're gonna white label, there is gonna be a minimum of, and to be determined at the time, because depending on number of locations, they're gonna get distribution to, et cetera. So we'll determine it at that time. But any of you, if you're ever, the factory is local, not local here, but local in Monterey Park. So if you ever, and I'll give everyone my phone number and everything. If you ever want to come and visit, we're a small company. Everything is handmade.
Do you do shipping?
Yes, nationally.
Wow.
So what I want to do is I'm getting pressured that we need to move this presentation along and have time to just mingle and talk. Bo is going to be here, and anybody have any questions about chocolate, the Chocolate Dragon, ordering, white labeling, making anything custom, she's going to be here to answer all your questions, take orders, whatever we need to do. You will be able to order Chocolate Dragon through me or directly through her. The order forms for that are on the website, available through the newsletter link that you have. There's on the page of the website that has the order form. At the bottom of it, there's the Chocolate Dragon order form. So you can order directly from that. So what I want to do next, I want to do testimonials. There's going to be, again, we're not going anywhere. This is not on a time crunch. I just know that there's a lot of people here that are kind of itching to talk to each other, and I don't want to take away from that in this. What I'm going to end up doing is I want to do a few testimonials for everybody to hear, and then I'm going to move it out there to the patio with the camera. And anybody that wants to do testimonials can come out with me and videotape. I want to get as many testimonials as we can. And then I don't know that we've gotten everybody, but I think if we haven't, we have this beautiful art piece that was donated to us, and it was made from locally harvested artifacts and assembled and made for us and given to us as a gift. And so what I'm doing is I've created a Meet the Reps photo album, and I have it on Facebook and I have it on our website. And so I'm getting as many pictures as I can of the reps standing in front of the door, and it's just making a nice little thing. So if you haven't taken your picture in front of the door, please get with me and I will get that picture. And Corinne is here. She's actually the photographer that has taken all of the artwork that is both on the website and on the brochures and all of that. And so if you guys are doing white label work or need to make anything, she's available when she's not here. she's part of the home team. So she's actually the one too that takes your orders. I've had to take a step away from that so that I can pursue more things. So anybody that's placing orders, Corinne's the one that processes that. She has actually set up a new email just for submitting orders to. If you don't have that address, you'll get it. We're transitioning to that as its own branch. So, but the home team's doing a great job, and I just want you guys to, get to know who everybody is. Yes, Lisa.
Would you like to take a picture with those who, like in front of your thing with a bunch of us?
Yeah,
Like,
we're gonna do a group picture too.
Okay, all right.
I definitely want to do. Corinne's gonna shoot a group picture.
Okay.
So yeah, this is. I mean, we're gonna have a photo album of this day's activities posted up on the website. I just think that it's a really. It's more than just a company. We're not Amway. I mean, I can't impress enough. We're not Amway. It's something that's different and better. We're about the product. We're not about getting salespeople. And if this is a very merit-based organization and company, if you want to do well, you can. There are reps that are killing it right now, and some that are just starting to kill it, and some that are still not sure of themselves. Another reason to have this is to hopefully share ideas of things that are working out there, just our experiences, because the products are delivering. I mean, our return customer rate is as high as anything I've ever seen out there. And does everything work for everybody? No. But what works for everybody anywhere? For anything. Not everybody eats chocolate. I mean, a pox on them who don't, but I mean, but not everybody does. There are people that are like, I don't eat chocolate. Some people don't eat peppermints. How dare you? I love peppermint, but not everybody does. Everybody has different skin, different body chemistry, different problems. And my guess is that some combination of something that we have is for everybody. It's for us to educate people on how to try things. Sampling has been very, very important in the way that we've grown. So that's another thing. I'm going to now take a couple seconds and talk about the Flower Power line. This is a brand new thing for everybody who doesn't. I mean,
We'll go back to
we literally started these in February, I think. We've been making capsules for a long time. I always believed that capsules were something that Americans, at least, are good at doing. We're good at taking pills. And I can make inside of a pill very precisely the very same thing every time. And so by dosing and creating different formulas, we can make it perfect every time. Whereas even when you're, eating brownies or cookies or whatever, as careful as somebody might be, there's always going to be a difference in one to the next. Even if you're really good at it, it's hard to be very precise. With these, we can be very precise. And the way that you can get a large delivery or a small delivery, and most importantly, people just know how to do it. You don't have to train them on how to do this new whatever thing. You just take your pill. So we started out with just the cannabinoid pills. We had CBD pills, THC 1:1, 18:1. And I always had in my head that we could combine these with herbs and do all kinds of things. So anybody who knows me knows that I'm a maniac and I should not be trusted to make things because I will make them all. And so that's what we're doing, much to the chagrin of my label making wife and the team who tries to keep up. We're cranking out new formulas all the time. And here's the good news. The core of these formulas is very similar. So our carrier, the way that we dose it, the research that's gone into the herbal combinations is exhaustive. And so far, we've hit home runs with just about everything. The headache pill, I haven't gotten a lot of feedback from. I've had some people that have used it very successfully, but I just haven't gotten a lot of feedback from it. But everything else that we've put out there, the feedback has been positive to amazing. We dose these capsules, and I've talked about this, and I'll continue to talk about it very specifically, so that if you take one, it's probably a decent dose. But you might need to take two. But if you take two, it's not likely that you're going to go, oh my God, I took two. It's too much. Yeah. Okay, these are not dosed that way. We have cannabinoid capsules that go up to 100 milligrams. Most people, I wouldn't recommend ever taking 100 milligrams. Most people wouldn't recommend taking 50 milligrams. So of those capsules, it's easy to go too far. Good news is it's cannabis. It can't hurt you. But with the herb combinations, I have people that tell me, oh, well, you could make one with this. You're right. Start studying herbal combinations and you'll realize that there's 20 to 100 answers to every possible problem you may try to solve. That doesn't mean that there's 20 to 100 best answers. So what we've done and what I've done is researched not only the ingredients, all of them that are possible, sources of them that are quality, interactions between these groups of herbs and other compounds that we commonly take, like heart medicine and blood pressure, sugar absorption, all these things that are very important, that could easily, Bo could tell a story about getting liver damage from taking supplements and herbs.
Right.
Just because it's herbs doesn't mean it's okay. You can overdo herbs if you do it wrong. And so, and I'm aware of that, and I don't take it lightly. So I've chosen herbs that specifically play well with others, and I've chosen groups of herbs together that historically and over different traditions of herbal science agree that these herbs go well together. That's how I formulated these: safety first and effectiveness. But yeah, there's lots of ways we could do it. So just be mindful. Now, the newest thing that we've had with these Flower Power capsules is that we now have them in packages. We have in sample bags of 10, and then we also have these bottles of 30 capsules, and we also have bottles of 100 capsules. Okay, and what we've done for the reps is we have given some discount based on 30 is cheaper than buying 30 individuals, and 100 is cheaper than buying 3 bottles of 30 and a bottle of 10. So we've done this in a way that makes sense to buy more. The newest capsules that we've just released are the psoriasis capsules, and then we just put out a prostate health capsule, and we just put out a rheumatoid arthritis capsule. And so there's a lot of problems with pain, and they're not all caused by the same things. And even though we have a joint pain capsule that works really well, the ingredients in the rheumatoid arthritis capsule are not the same. There are some things that are really good for rheumatoid arthritis and rheumatic type problems that aren't necessarily just for joint pain. Okay, so even though, again, there's a lot of overlaps and some herbs we use in a lot of different combinations, realize that when I do something that's specific, it's specific for that. And it might be good for other things too. We find out all the time there's cross-pollination. Oh, this is good for that too. Great. I welcome you to experience that. We've also had people that have done a lot of beta testing with combining different things. I've made these to where it shouldn't be a conflict to combine them. I recommend try one and get to know it and find your dose and find your thing, and then maybe try something else with it. But we've had a woman who's going to be coming here a little bit later, Debbie. She's taken the antidepressant and the anti-anxiety, and she's gotten off of some hardcore psych meds. And she's written a testimony about it. It's on the testimonial page. She's really shy and doesn't want to do a video, but it's okay. Nobody's ever going to get pressured or forced to do. I can tell her story on the video, and she's already written it down. But bottom line is it necessarily make everything wonderful in the world? No. But does it allow you to cope? Yeah. And it allows her to cope without these pharmaceutical drugs that have potentially horrible, life-affecting, damaging side effects that so many people. Kathy Z, if she was here, she'd tell you she went into 4-organ failure over taking pharmaceuticals that were prescribed by doctors, approved by the FDA. And she would have died had she continued taking them. Okay, but this medicine has not only made it to where she doesn't need to take them, but has caused restorative and rejuvenating factors. And she's doing things today she wasn't able to do when we first met her. Okay, so that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. So the capsules, there's going to be a number of new ones that are going to be coming out. I've got formulas, still a list of them to come. I welcome ideas. Just because you have an idea doesn't mean I can make it. But what we're doing with some people is, I mean, I can make anything. It just doesn't mean that I can necessarily make it at your beck and call. But what we've had is some people are well, can you make this? I said, sure, help me research it. And they're putting together some research, and I'll put it together. And, we can make things happen if you're willing to get engaged and involved in the process. We can absolutely, give you attention specifically for that. Any questions about the
Yes.
flower power caps?
Yes, does the headache one touch migraines?
It can. And I didn't make a specific migraine formula, but it has feverfew in it. And feverfew is a great herb that specifically does help migraines. So I made it as a pretty broad. Again, headaches are like joint pain. There's all kinds of reasons that you could have it, and not one size fits all with it. But I started with headaches as a sort of broad, oversweeping approach. I may go after it from a migraine point of view in the future. Any other questions about the capsules? Okay, so what I'd like to do next is, Candace, why don't you tell everybody about your shirts?
My shirt,
Yeah.
I have I think everybody knows.
Well,
So I put in a bigger order. I should be picking them up later on today or tomorrow. We have 3 different styles. One is the unisex, so guys and girls can that one. I have 2 women's tank tops. So two different women's tank tops. We're still gonna be working on different styles. And they're for reps right now and friends $15.
everybody else 20. She charged me 20. That's okay. I gladly paid. So,
What does the shirts look like?
I'm teasing.
Can you show us the shirts? That's the guy's shirt, and then for girls, doesn't matter.
All right.
Beautiful
We're almost there.
girl.
This is the fun part.
Willow
The next
Creek
thing,
Springs
people are
girl.
asking me,
Hey,
what's
hey.
about the ribbon?
Yes,
What's
what
the
about the
ribbon for?
ribbon?
And so,
Oh.
I'll tell you
We
what's about
have-
the ribbon.
Yes.
Another tank top
We're
with
working
the
with
girl
on the side.
cannabis products, whether it's hemp seed oil,
Oh, you can't see it.
THC products, CBD products.
Ain't
They're
she
all made
beautiful?
from the cannabis.
and then we have the women's, which Candace is wearing.
The headache are,
Oh, here, we're gonna model your shirt.
Cannabis plant.
She's a
I
little
went
shy,
through
plus it's dark, can't
6-year
see her.
legal battle with the government.
She's a beautiful
I've been
girl
arrested
wearing a
4
beautiful
times. I've been
t-shirt.
locked up. I've been charged, convicted, overturned conviction. I've got 3 felony cases.
Okay.
And
It's a-
out of all of this came a group called the Human Solution International. And we're a civil rights organization that's been around for 10 years. We've been a 501c3 for 4 years. And we help people that are going through cases, victims of the drug war, victims of prohibition. That's what we do. And we educate and we support and we teach people how to stand up and go to court. We teach people that you don't have to lay down. We teach people how to be a juror. We teach you about your rights. And hopefully our goal, but our goal is that there shouldn't be any restrictions on this plant. This isn't a plant that needs to be taxed and regulated the way it is. We live in a world that somehow sees value in something and demands that everybody has to pay their life's blood for it. But that's not the truth. The truth is it's a plant like any other plant, and it can be grown by any one of us. And unlike every other plant, it can't hurt you. It cannot hurt you. And I can't say that about alfalfa. I can't say that about any of the herbs that are in our combinations. You can take enough of these herbs to get sick from them, but you cannot take enough cannabis to get sick from it. Actually, to be hurt by it. You can't. And yet we have prohibition, and we have stupid laws that have been passed that allow for this and not that. And we have ridiculous taxes and licensing, and all it does is keep good people from being able to afford good medicine. And we don't think that's okay. So we have a nonprofit that ultimately our goal is to end prohibition, make it to where there's no way you can get locked up for it. I have a radio show I do on every Wednesday, and there's a guy that calls me up every Wednesday from federal prison where he's currently serving a life sentence. A life sentence for pot. And he's not alone. He's not the only one.
And all he did was work on the truck. He was the mechanic on the truck. That's all he did.
Okay, I have friends that are in prison right now because of pot. In prison, in federal prison and in state prison. Okay, just because of pot and nothing else. And there was never a victim involved. There was never somebody who was hurt or got damaged or got a family member hurt or killed or assaulted in any way. None of that ever happened. The only thing that happened is they had pot. Or maybe they sold it or drove it somewhere or did something with it. But that's it. Okay, and we're not okay with that. And so we started this organization 10 years ago with my case, and we've helped people all over the country, all over in other countries, in Canada, in the UK, in Japan, in Australia. We've helped people fight their cases and win. And most importantly, maybe even more importantly than fighting cases and winning, is when somebody's been assaulted, when somebody's been attacked, when somebody's at their weakest point, we offer support. We're there for them. Even if it's just listening to them. Sometimes it's more than that, but at least it's that.
Yes.
And we know what you've been through. We've been through it. I've been locked up in a terrible, terrible place. And I know what it's like. And I know anybody who goes through this, I can tell you, I know what it's like. The worst that could happen, I've been there. And it's not right. And I'm not dealing with it anymore. I finally won. And I have no criminal record whatsoever. And it's because of this group, the Human Solution, that stood with me and stood around me and helped here. That's Theron, I think. He might not know how to get here. Anyway, so what does the Human Solution have to do with Willow Creek Springs? Well, me and my family. That's what it has
Everything.
to do with it. We started both of them, and they're both really important to us. And one has supported the other. Willow Creek Springs has supported the Human Solution since it was born. And the Human Solution has always supported Willow Creek Springs. What I've done, because it's so important to me, I've decided that for people who are members of the Human Solution, I'm going to offer more than to people that aren't. And you don't have to be a member to be part of this team at all. It doesn't make me think any less of you or it doesn't matter, but it does matter if you do. It matters. It means that you get this in a way that is more than just business, more than just helping people, that there's a core problem systemic in our society that is wrong. We have some things that need to be changed, and until they're changed, we're all somewhat at risk. You know, we're all somewhat taking a chance by doing this. On some level, there's some chance that we're taking, even though it's a much smaller chance than it ever used to be. It's pretty unlikely that most people could even have a problem, but you could. The federal government could decide to start pointing fingers at people, and they could cause us problems. I don't think they're going to. I've risked my whole livelihood and that of a lot of people that I know that it's not going to. And I'm not a frivolous gambler, but we all take a risk by doing what we're doing on some level or another.
How do we join it?
How do we join? So little bit later on, I'll have my computer open, but we've got a website, and it's the easiest thing in the world. $15 a year. You break that down, and that's less than a cup of coffee a month. Okay, or we have a $4.20 a month, which we prefer. I'm a $4.20 member. Actually, we have a family for $6.30.
$36.30.
Yeah, and so for $6.30 a month, that's a cup of coffee a week. Literally, just black coffee, a cup of coffee a week. You can be part of an organization that's actually trying to change the world in a better way. And as I'm looking around here, I see a lot more members than not members. So if you're not a member, I would encourage that you do. And you don't have to do any more than that. But if you want to get more involved, there's ways you can. I do a radio show every week, and we talk to people all over the country and in other countries sometimes about this and give them an opportunity to share their stories. And we offer help and support. And, it's in a lot of ways, people tell me it's kind of like church. It's a deeper level of doing good for the world. It's certainly non-denominational, but it's just the universe, helping out, doing good work. So, anyways, if you want to, thsintl.org, and a little bit later on, I'll have it open to the anybody that wants to get involved. You can do it.
And you can ask me questions too, because I'm the vice president.
Yeah, she is the vice president of the Human Solution today as we speak. So that being said, I'd like to open up the floor to some testimonials that you want to say in front of everybody so that we can all benefit from it. Otherwise, I'm going to take the computer out so that everybody can ruckus around and have some good conversation. But I'll be off of it just a little bit so we can do testimonials for the video. And that way, there's plenty of snacks and water and coffee and all that good stuff. Does anybody have a testimony they want to share with everybody?
I will.
Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, hold on, I'm going to
All
stop the video, and then we're going to start it again.
Can you tell me anybody on there?
Yeah, we had our Kansas folks were there, and I think they just left.
I was there.
But,
so I was there.
Hey, everybody, and yeah, there's nobody on right now.
Yeah, too long.